Okay, in this tutorial we're going to be covering camera switches using Texture Animator plugin. And as you can see, I got the new Daz version 4.8 loaded up. It's just something different. I just thought I'd load it up in 4.8 so everybody can see it works in it. First off, what we're going to do is going to show the animation that we'll be playing. It's a Stargate puddle, and it's a pretty cool effect. And what we want to do is, that's one of the, about keyframe 70, we're going to switch to our side camera during the animation and show you how easy it is to do camera switches using Texture Animator plugin. And so let's get started. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to set up, be back on the first keyframe. First you want to have from the camera selector up here, you want to have the camera that you want to set up. So in this, or use for the camera switch. In this case, we're going to start out with camera 1. So we'll select under menu, add keyframe camera switch. Select that from the menu, and the first box will come up will be the starting keyframe for camera 1. In this case, we're going to start it in the play range, it's at 0. So we'll start it at 0. The ending is going to be frame 70. And as you can see under our camera switches, that one's been added for that camera switch. So the next one, we're going to switch to our side camera at the next frame, which is 71. So same process up here in the preview window, the camera selector, select the camera you want to switch to. In this case, we're going to do the side camera. Then go menu, add keyframe camera switch, and we start that camera at frame 71, and we're just going to end it at the end of the scene, 149. It's a pretty simple one. So okay, so first off we'll start up at frame 0. You can see we created the setups for it, so it automatically, when I hit the rewind button, it switched to camera 1. If I hit the fast forward button all the way to the end, you can see how it switched to the side camera. So in this case, I'll just play it so you can see it switch, and it works pretty nice. And it switched, and that's all there is to it. And I don't create any keyframes to use the camera switcher. All the information is internal inside Texture Animator, so I don't clog up your timeline or your camera parameters with a bunch of keyframes. It's all internal data within Texture Animator. And to save, you can save the textures, or the camera switches out for later use, with this scene, or you can load them back in. You can, if you do need to make a change, you have to. I didn't create an editing dialog for camera switches, so you have to remove it. So if we want to change this one, say we entered the wrong camera or the wrong keyframe range, just select the one you want to remove. Go under menu, remove selected camera switch. We'll remove the one that we have selected. The remove all camera switches cleans them all out of the box. So in this case, we want to just remove the one. Confirmation dialog will appear. If that was an error, just select no. It won't do anything. In this case, we want to remove it. And you can see it removed it from the list. So we'll just create that one again. Menu, add keyframe camera switch. We'll start it at frame 71 and end it at the end of the scene 149. Okay. Now in order to save these out, all you gotta do is go menu, save, camera switches to file. The save file dialog will appear, and in this case we're just going to call it Stargate Puddle camera switch, or just camera switches. That way we know what it's a camera switch file. Then just click save, and voila, we saved them all out to an external file to be used later. Now to load them back in, first off we'll remove all those camera switches. Remove all camera switches, yes. See, it cleared them all out. Now to load one back in, you just go menu, load camera switch file, and in this open file dialog will appear, and you just select your file that you want. These other files that's a texture animator file for the animated textures, and in this case we just want our camera switches. But if you try to load a texture animation file, it won't load it. There's a not a valid camera switch file. That one wasn't. There's a special line of text I write into it as that specifies it's a camera switch file, so it has to have that in there, or else it won't. It'll reject it, and it does that because they're in text file format. I don't want you just clicking any old text file. So anyway, so we just select our file, click open. If it's a valid file, it'll loaded it back in, and you see we can play it. And coming up to frame 70, it'll switch, just like that. So it's a feature that works really good, and you can have up to 25 camera switches per Daz scene, so it's more than enough to handle. It's hard to imagine more than 25 camera switches per Daz scene, but you can create up to 25 of them. Okay, and that's it for the tutorial on camera switches. I thank you for watching, and thank you for purchasing Texture Animator plugin.